I was at the Ohio State Reformatory on April 6 and April 7, 2025. It was made famous by the movie Shawshank Redemption, though several other movies have been filmed here. I was here for 2 days because it was a fantastic place to do photography, plus I wanted to go on their behind-the-scenes tour. You can only do video on the self-guided tour, so I will be showing video highlights from that, which will give you a glimpse of what is here. There also will be fun displays from the movie Shawshank Redemption. And thanks for joining me, but let's head on in and check out the prison. So I'm at the entrance of the Ohio State Reformatory. This is where the self-guided tours start. You just kind of follow the signs. This is what they call the West Administrative Wing. Excuse me. So they have a lot of displays here of the history, some of the artifacts, but they also have a lot of things from the movie Shawshank Redemption. So here is a display of Old Sparky, the hot seat or the electric chair, and there's a control panel that was used for it. And the portrait there, I don't see anything that tells me about this portrait, but I'm going to guess he was the guy who pulled the switch. So there you go, a real live electric chair. And this is a harness that will hold a wet sponge on top of the head to help with the conductivity. And then here is a mask. I guess the mask is used for the living so that you don't have to look at the face of the guy as he's being killed. So this says this is the actual electric chair used for 315 executions. It was used from 1897 to 1963. No executions took place at the Ohio State Reformatory. So I am not sure where this electric chair was used at. And this displays some artifacts from the prison. This gun that you see, it's a shotgun made out of rolled up newspapers. And it was used for an attempted prison escape. And according to the display here, it apparently was very effective in the dark, but once the prisoner had the guard escorted into an area that was lighted, you could see that it was fake, and so it was back to the jail cell. So a number of other artifacts here. I'm going to go around over here since there's people in the way in that other room. Barber chair from the prison. Let's see if I can tilt my camera here. Here we have shanks that were confiscated from the prisoners over the years. Kind of interesting here that you have a big pen, and then inside they have some sharp needle type things. And here is a display of female prisoners. So there's according to this display here, there was an Ohio Reformatory for women in Marysville, Ohio. So the tour continues on up these stairs here. And in here we have displays and movie props from the movie Shawshank Redemption. For those who watched the movie, I'm sure you will remember the warden. Here's a hat worn by one of the extras. Brooks was here, and so was Red. And this is the actual prison shirt worn by the main character of the movie. Here's a display of Morgan Freeman, some of the props used. And here's the can that was filled with money towards the end of the movie. Almost looks like you're actually in a dining hall here, doesn't it? Now, in the one scene, the guy plays records over the loudspeakers. Now, this is not the actual phonograph used, but it is the same model that was used. But according to the display, this microphone is the actual microphone prop used in the movie. And let's see if we can see what this is. It can be a little difficult sometimes with the how the light reflects. But inside there is a little hammer, and that hammer was actually used in the movie. And I'm sure you recognize the scene here. This is actually a very common meme on the internet now. And here's the warden's desk. There are some video displays here, and the actor who played the warden, he was talking about how when he did the scene of shooting himself, and he throws himself back, and he hit his head on the window ledge there. So this is the safe that was used in the movie.
Sorry for interrupting there.
Well, yesterday there were so many people This is much better.
I just need to lay this stuff out.
Now, was this table the?
This is not necessarily the desk,
But
but
it's
it's very likely because they used furniture they found in the building.
okay.
Like the chair, that is the chair that was in the movie because they found that chair in the building. There's a lot of furniture they used. Yeah, like that chair was original to the building. This side chair, that side chair, those are original. That is not the same desk. I don't know where that because sometimes some of this prop furniture they take back. They take
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah,
leave
I
it
was
behind.
thinking it didn't look because I thought it had a solid front in the movie, and it was bigger.
But this is one we found that was pretty nice, and we thought, okay, that'll work. So yeah, some of it's original, and I have some of the original. Some like they used a desk or a table out of a cell in Andy's cell, and so yeah, they used, and again, the building was supposed to be torn down, so they could do. I mean, that wall was put up for the movie.
Okay.
Brooks was here. That was put up for the movie. None of this is original, but it didn't matter because the building was going to be torn down. So they could do anything they wanted.
So how did they change that at the last minute?
What it was is literally there was a demolition, a big wrecking ball outside, and one of our original board members came out and he said, "No, I've got a thing. We are now a designated historic site. You can't tear it down." And what they did is negotiated with the state of Ohio to get the building. So.
Okay, I'll let you go back to work. Thank you.
Well, I was happy to answer your questions as you wander around with the tour guides around. If you have any other questions,
Okay.
feel free to ask.
So I don't know if you got that, but the prison was going to be torn down after the movie, but some people decided to save it. So this wall here, this is not original to the prison, but they built it for the movie. And then in the warden's office here, this is not the desk used in the movie, but it makes for a nice display. When I was here yesterday, there was people, they would go sit in a chair and pretend they were dead, get their picture taken and things like that. But this is the room where they filmed for the warden's office scenes. Here's a little kitchen. I'm not quite sure what function this had for the prison. What was this kitchen used for?
This was they're right in there. I have them laying on the floor. This was the assistant warden's living quarters. This was their kitchen. And when we
okay.
go around the corner, that was their dining room.
Okay.
So this is actually, and the sink and the stove are original to the building.
Okay, thank
They
you.
were here, yeah. But that's why this is set up. I mean, this was living quarters. This was a living room, bedrooms,
Okay.
sitting rooms.
Okay.
So, yeah, we have that done up as the kitchen, because that was their kitchen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so this kitchen is the living quarters, or the kitchen used by the assistant warden, because this is where he lived. And these rooms that we had visited was his living quarters and living area. You just keep following the signs for the tour route. This room here is where they filmed those scenes for the parole board. So I'm not sure if this is the table used in the movie. So yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the movie again sometime and compare it to what you see here and what's actually in the movie. So they put some records here as a display. This one says State of Maine Parole Board rejected. So some artifacts. Well, here we go. Here's a picture from the movie. So I can compare that to this table. And no, this will not be the same table. And here's another prison shirt. This is worn by one of the extras in the movie. And if you ever come here, they have these video displays. You can activate it, watch the video, and listen to people give you more information about of the history and things like that. And this room is being renovated right now. I don't know what they're going to do here. And then the self-guided tour continues on up these stairs. So from here, we're going to go up the stairs. And over here, we have an electric chair. It's a reproduction used in one of the movies. And in the background there, that's a display for a movie exhibit that is under construction, apparently. And there's a sign here that says, Escape Plan, The Extractors. And Sylvester Stallone starred in that. So, but this is blocked off. I can't get any closer. Little artifact here. There's no sign to tell me what that is. So we have a little classroom setting here. I'll move back in the corner here. And here is the paranormal activity room. I don't know if people experience the supernatural or see ghosts or hear things in here. But apparently, it is of some significance to those who believe in the supernatural. Another empty room, but with the paint peeling and the original doors and things like that. Again, those are always fun to photograph. And then over in here, this is Brooks's room. Now, in the movie Shawshank Redemption, Brooks gets paroled. And he moves into a cheap little flat, and So of course the way Hollywood works is you don't just go out and go to a real apartment. They staged this room to appear as his living quarters. And up here, I don't know if you can see that, but it says Brooks was here, and so was Red. Here's a little display here. So it's fun being able to visit sites where they filmed Hollywood movies and things like that. Coming up here is the chapel. They have a display here of some of the artwork that apparently used to hang on the walls. Do a little pan of the room here. Now we get to go see the different cells. I really stacked them up high in here. And over here we get to walk along the cells here. Let's glimpse inside the cells. See if I can. Here's a cell. They got it fixed up in here. Got the beds made. Mirror on the wall. Sink in the background. The commode. On a tour they were talking about towards the end, they're having 3 to 4 people inside these cells. And with that, such a large open space with brick walls, the sound carries pretty well, so it'd be noisy all the time. Tour continues on this way. If you ever come here to visit, you should try to be here on a weekday, because when I was here yesterday, it was just very crowded. So it's really nice being able to do a lot of this over again without people getting in the way. No, this display here. This is the tunnel our main character crawls out of, a sewage pipe. Now this was built as a Hollywood prop, and it shows you what it looked like when they were done. But it's really only 18 feet long, and the way they make it look endless is they use this cone here at the end on the one side, so it makes it appear to be much longer. And here's a photo of them setting it up and doing the film. Now over this way is solitary confinement. And this appears to be a shower stall. And here's some of the cells. And you can note that they are solid metal, no bars. So you're pretty well cut off once they put you in here. Now if we go in here, this is where there was a shower room. So you can see the pipes from the shower heads. And of course you got the drains down here for the water to exit. And it doesn't seem to be that big. So imagine all those stacks and stacks of cells, 3 to 4 people inside. During the tour, they were talking about, back in the day, there was no air conditioning. So the inmates would take rocks and bust open the windows. So as you can see, these are modern windows because they had to be replaced. But also back in the day, they did not have the funding to fix the windows, which meant when winter came, it was mighty cold in here because there are holes in the windows. Now I heard one staff person talking about this one cell here. One of the players from the Cleveland Browns, I guess he was here for 30 days on some kind of drug charge. So if you look at the wall there, it's painted in Cleveland Brown colors. So they did that for him while he was here. So we're pretty much at the end of the tour. This is where you start. Here's where you purchase your tickets. And that's the front door to come in. And as you leave over this way, so here's the dining room. This space here has been converted into a little deli snack bar place. Then, of course, the gift shop. And I thank you for watching my video, and I hope you'll continue on with my channel and see where my camera takes me next.